Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today we have a late night insight video on a Prin fragrance. And you guys know these are always fun to do for the channel. And this is a fragrance called Oqachol, which is a Thai word we'll get to here in a little bit. But as you can see, this decant was very kindly sent to me by my friend Lee from Fragnanimous, who, when I purchased a lot of my indie fragrances in the past, I went through him. So he carries things like Prin, Aries Ladores from time to time. He will carry Bortnikoffs, Melegs, these kind of houses that are in the indie space. He is a great source. And he mostly ships in the US. He said he was trying to work on international shipping. I don't know if that ever got fixed, but he is one of those trusted sources. I talk about Anuj at Enchante all the time for vintage, discontinued, rare, hard to find fragrances for these artisanal houses. Lee at Fragnanimous is a guy that I can definitely recommend. I've used him multiple times, and he's always been extremely solid, and he's just a great fellow. So, Lee, thank you for the decant that you sent me, my friend. I have been sitting on this for, I think, years, to be honest with you. I've only had a chance to test it twice, though, and this is the second time I'm having a chance to test it, and I'm going to do a fresh spray just because some people said I should be spraying more on my videos, so there you go. Which is just, oh my God, the opening is absolutely foul. I really don't like the opening of Oqachol. And to be honest, you know what it is? I don't like Prin's use of spices. It is just inglorious. I hate the way that he puts it all together. It feels so unbalanced to me. Like he went to put in some spices, read the recipe, and accidentally put in like 100 tablespoons instead of like 10. And he was like, F it. You know what? Let's just roll with it. We don't have time to fix it. I got better things to do, and just went with it. That's what his spice combination feels like to me. So Oqachol reminds me a little bit when I was a kid and you have this canker sore, and your mother puts this medicine on it and it kind of feels like it's slightly caustic in a way. It would like bubble up, hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, whatever the hell's in those medicines, and it kind of tasted slightly metallic. The opening is spice and this strange kind of metallic thing, which strangely enough, could be this very weird oceanic vibe, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. Whenever I reviewed, well, I haven't reviewed it yet, but I will. But my thought process on Ocean Rain by Mario Valentino, basically Edmund Rudnitska's last fragrance, his goodbye fragrance in 1990, has this weird, sort of feels like the oceans, like while life is still forming, like bubbling cauldrons of oceans. And there's this very weird side of Oqachol. And now, here's the part that's crazy about this. I will admit, out of the gate, okay, there are parts of Oqachol that I really like. There are parts of it that I absolutely despise. And it's always fun doing these full reviews because, well, first of all, I have to say these aren't really full reviews. They're early impression videos because, when I have a sample like this and I have a chance to wear it a couple times, this is the type of video that I like to do simply for the fact that I would not be able to do these type of reviews if not for kindness from the community, stuff being sent to me like this. You would never get a review of Oqachol because I don't own a bottle. I never will own a bottle, most likely. And so these are sort of, I think of them as like, just additional videos that never would have happened if not for the kindness in the community. And I want my channel to be a little bit of an encyclopedia. So if you are new to the channel, I will urge you use the playlists in the channel. I put together some major playlists. Every single time I review a house, it goes into a playlist. And I have done a serious amount of work on the House of Prin, especially for a fragrance house that I basically own 0 bottles from. Well, that's not true. I do own one. I own a fragrance called, what do I own? I own Cigar Rum. I think it's called Cigar Rum. And my blind bought that based on like hype in the community, and it was a major fail. I'll probably review it one of these days. But it's just funny, the whole situation, because I'm not a fan of Prin. Although I've done a ton of work for the house, maybe more work than anyone else on YouTube. This is my 12th full Prin video, and none of them are lists. I think every single one is a dedicated either review or late night insight video, something like this. So for the most part, they're all individual reviews. But one thing about Prin that I have to give him his flowers for is he never fails to entertain me. Prin is kind of one of those people that has this very unique style. And, it's almost like hanging out with someone that just kind of makes you laugh. It's sometimes his fragrances are just entertaining. They make you chuckle. You know, they keep you engaged. You never get bored with his fragrances. I'll tell you that right out of the gate. So if you're someone who is interested in these weird, strange, if you're tired of the same old from Macy's, the designer houses, even the niche houses that are releasing designer fragrances at niche prices, you know, this is a house to definitely check out. Even if you just get samples and just play with them like I do, they're fun to play with. So Oqachol opens up with what I have come to expect, what I would call Prin's signature sort of spice overdose, which I actually strongly dislike. As I said, I think over these last few years, and actually my very first Prin review was back in May of 2022, so it's been coming up on 2.5 years since I've done my first Prin video on the channel. And I think all of this work that I've done on his house over the years has sort of made me come to be a little bit more prepared for what's coming in his fragrances. I have more of an expectation of what's around the corner. And it's or as prepared as you can be for a house like this, you know, for a mad scientist. I feel like some of his work, there's just no preparing you for. No amount of preparation will prepare you for this opening. I'll tell you that right now. As far as I would say, maybe half of his fragrances fall into this category of I'm just going to shock the shit out of you, you know? And basically, the opening of Oqachol, I strongly dislike. And it's funny because many of Prin's fragrances have this sort of shock value in the opening. I've come to kind of, the way I've come to describe it on the channel is that it feels like he's just trying to shock you. And his fans, the people who love his work, think he's like Leonardo da Vinci or like Michelangelo or something. He's some amazing, great artist of all time because he can put something together that, you know, smells terrible to me. But they think it smells so artistic and, oh, it's got all this stuff. And, you know, to be fair, this is not his worst opening, okay? There are definitely worse openings than this, but there is definitely this feeling of just in the opening, he just wants to like shock you into submission, okay? Into just bowing down to him. Yes, Prin, oh, you're an absolute genius. How did I not realize that something that smells like skatol and shit smells amazing? You're so genius. And I like to think there's a little bit more of an art form to it. And sometimes Prin's fragrances show me that little bit more, and sometimes they don't. That's the interesting part to me. Now, this is where I'm 100% completely torn on this fragrance because half of the fragrance I like, half of it I would just throw it away. And you know, that insane, like, literally, if I had to capture the smell of insanity, okay, it would be Prin's Spice Accord. His Spice Accord is absolutely insane. And then you talk about the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and trying to expect a different result. That's what it feels like he continues to do. He's just going to put that Spice Accord in there over and over and over again in his releases. And the Spice Accord that I hate is here. He just, everything feels so off. Everything that should be to the right goes to the left. Everything that should be up goes down. It just feels like there is this incongruity here. Nothing fits together. Everything clashes. All the spices clash. Everything is wrong, you know? And then all of a sudden, I would say probably around the 15-minute mark from memory, but definitely by the 30-minute mark. So let's just say 15 to 30 minutes in, definitely by 30 minutes in, I really like the tobacco accord that starts to make itself known. This beautiful tobacco accord, brilliant tobacco accord, quite frankly. And I am a tobacco lover through and through. It's one of my favorite accords in perfumery. It's rich, it's thick, it blends beautifully with this crazy mishmash of spices, and it just seems to calm everything down, you know? Like an experienced mentor coming in and just kind of talking to his pupils. Calm, take the octave one level down. Everyone take a deep breath. Everything is okay. Nothing is fucked in Big Lebowski speak. And this tobacco accord just comes in and just settles the whole fragrance. And what's weird is the fragrance gets even weirder for me because I like to test my fragrances out first and make notes before I read any of the blurbs. That's kind of my my standard operating procedure when I do these videos is I'll wear it, make notes, wear it again, and then read the brief, right? So most of the notes I kind of made on the tobacco and spices and all this stuff were from the first wearing. Now, this is where I fell out of my chair. When I read the brief of Oqachol, I literally almost lost it because I know Prin loves using Thai words, and obviously Oqachol for me means nothing as a Texan, as an American. I don't speak Thai. I have no clue what Oqachol means, so it meant nothing to me. But Oqachol in Thai basically means ocean waves, okay? And I was like, what? And then it goes on to talk about aquatic green notes like fucus, which there is a fucus absolute note that's used in this, which is almost like this weird, like brown algae seaweed kind of thing. He loves using seaweed type notes in his creations. I think there's even like a seaweed note in Cigar Rum, which I mentioned earlier. And maybe if I smoke some of whatever the fuck Prin is smoking when he writes these little briefs, I could twist my mind in a way that I could see some sort of weird aquatic note in this. As I said in the opening, there is actually supposed to be this aquatic note, although I never got it until I read it, okay? But to me, this is like patented Prin spice accord that dries into this beautiful tobacco with what I would guess, like my first round of notes was some sort of oud spine. Like I was guessing maybe one of his crazy Thai ouds he loves using or something like that, like an oud backbone, you know? That's basically my initial prognosis, right? Nothing groundbreaking, but very, very interesting after you get away from that first 15-minute horror show with the opening, okay? Really what it ended up being is there's no oud in this, but what there is a Nagamatha note, which is basically Cypriol. I've done an entire This Is Not a Top 10 Cypriol for those of you who would like to dive deeper into that note. It sort of makes it feel slightly earthy. It's a very common nowadays to use as a replacement for oud. It imitates oud very, very well. Here, so well that I thought there was a real oud note. What I think actually ended up happening is there's a beautiful combination in the base of naturals in this fragrance. One is real Siberian deer musk, which is a treat to get to smell. The other is real ambergris from New Zealand, okay? So those two notes play off of each other in the base brilliantly, along with this Nagamatha accord, which basically imitates oud, let's say. So, again, this fragrance is, damn it, and I'm going to drop it. I don't want to crush it, so I'm going to pick it up, sorry. So this fragrance is kind of two halves for me. The opening is a big LOL nope. The usual mad scientist way, Prin just seems to kind of throw everything at the wall, see if it sticks. And it's funny because in the first part, it's almost like I'm smelling this thinking, this guy has no clue what the hell he's doing. Honestly, like, how is he a perfumer? You know, that kind of thing. It's like Dumb and Dumber, where the clip where he says, you can't get any stupider, Lloyd, and then you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself, you know? That's kind of what this fragrance does. It goes from crazy to crazier, and then it just happens to work. But the dry down here actually is quite gorgeous. It's really shockingly well done. I would even put up with the crazy 15 minutes in the opening just to get to what the fragrance turns into. The insane spice blend, as I said, starts to calm down, and it blends beautifully with the high quality natural materials in the base and this golden tobacco, okay? With hints of the green seaweed, which actually do strangely bring harmony to the fragrance and all this other, in this mad creation, everything just does seem to strangely fit. The other thing about this fragrance, especially into the dry down, is that there's just so much to smell. It's insane. Once I get past my revulsion of the opening, which never fails with his spice accord, but I find myself really enjoying what it turns into. The osmanthus in here does its usual osmanthus thing, and I will just say on a personal note, osmanthus has kind of turned into probably one of my favorite current floral notes. I love the suede-like element that it can add. I love that nectarine peach thing that it can, this floral nectarine smell. And then it adds something slightly dirty underneath. Osmanthus always adds just something slightly dirty. And then you combine that osmanthus, which is like a fruity floral smell, with an actual fruit. He's added blackcurrant. And blackcurrant adds this kind of fruity, sparkling character to the fragrance with this hint of like minty greenness, which plays very well with that fucus seaweed absolute thing, okay? But all of this is in the background. The star of the show, from let's say 30 minutes on, the star of the show is that sort of dry down of this rich, thick sunset tobacco, golden tobacco, with the base of what I thought was an oud, but is actually this, like I said, Nagarmatha meets real Siberian deer musk. And it's beautiful. It is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful tobacco. And as I said, as a tobacco lover, I'm just a sucker for this. I can't get away from it. I will say that one thing I noticed on the second wear that I did not pick up on the first wear is that the ambergris in this sort of feels like it's done in a very similar fashion to something like Ocularia Blossom. You know, the very fresh, sparkly ambergris. I really liked Ocularia Blossom, but the ambergris here feels like the fresh, sparkly type. Very well done, but that sort of is enveloped, I would say. That's a good word. Everything else is like enveloped by this rich, thick tobacco. Beautifully done. Again, there's all kind of stuff in here I haven't even mentioned. There's orris butter, which I'm sure adds to the smoothness. There's mimosa. There's false sandalwood. There's chamomile. There's Ki Moon tea, which is a tea. I didn't even know what the fuck it meant. It's a Chinese light tea with characteristics of stone fruit and slight smoky notes and an aroma, and a gentle, malty, non-astringent taste reminiscent of unsweetened cacao. There's actually a cacao note in here, not just the cacao smell from this Ki Moon tea, which I didn't even know what the hell it was. There's actually a cacao note in here. There's a coffee note in here. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. There's frankincense, which probably adds to the oudi feel. There's May Rose. There's yuzu, which I get almost none. One part of this fragrance I don't get very much of, I must admit, is the citruses. They make a big deal about the citruses in here. Yuzu and all of this stuff. I don't get it. I really don't get very much of that. There is some K juniper. There's birch tar. There's cumin. There's champaka. There's fenugreek. There's Choyu Naka Absolute. I mean, I don't even have the breath to keep going. Violet leaf, orange blossom, May Rose Absolute, spikenard, which I hate spikenard. That was a scary sign at first for me. But yeah, I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. The list of things that your nose doesn't even pick up on, or they're just kind of background players, you know? And none of these notes even really gets a mention, you know, because I'm focusing on the spice accord, the dry down with the real naturals, the beautiful tobacco, the golden tobacco. So this mad scientist aspect just feels like it can go so wrong. You can be shocked, but it also feels like when it works, you know, it's no longer a head scratcher. It turns into, you know, the team who goes for it on fourth down every time and actually makes it, unlike my team, which is too stupid to go for it on fucking fourth down. Sorry, wound's still a little salty today. But I will say, one thing I have to say about this is I don't know about the longevity because I only wear this to bed. So I only ever get like 3 or 4 hours in, then I go to bed. But I will say that the first time I wore it to bed, this is only the second time today. First time I wore it to bed, I could smell it like 8 hours later when I woke up. So obviously the real Siberian deer musk and the ambergris is doing their job. So let me read you the blurb real quick because I think the blurb will give you an idea of what the brand says it should be, which is shocking to me, but here it is. Oqachol, $320 for 30 ml. It's a pure parfum. It is a limited release, so it technically is discontinued, although there is still 30 bottles listed on his website in stock. So I'm guessing this is not running out anytime soon. But here's the blurb. Oqachol, known as Ocean Waves in Thai, is a fragrance that aims to capture the essence of golden ocean waves at sunset, with deep, dark waters and sea creatures underneath. The fragrance opens up with a lively and invigorating blend of fruity citrus and aquatic green notes, including Osmanthus Absolute, Petitgrain Mandarin, Blackcurrant, Absolute Yuzu, and Violet Leaf. These ingredients create a vibrant and refreshing introduction to the scent. I don't get that vibrant, refreshing introduction. I just get the classic Prin stamped spice accord that I hate. As the fragrance develops, it incorporates a rich array of materials from various sources, ranging from florals and herbs to spices. This combination of diverse ingredients aims to evoke the imagery of a golden sunset masquerade, where different elements come together in harmony. These materials work in concert to create a multi-dimensional olfactory experience, adding depth and complexity to the fragrance. The star ingredient in Oqachol is a golden ambergris sourced from New Zealand. Okay. The fact that they say that is the star ingredient is funny because I mentioned I picked up on that much stronger the second go around. But for some reason, tobacco is the star for me, although maybe it's that golden ambergris working with the tobacco. I don't know. But ambergris is a highly prized substance derived from the digestive system of whales. It possesses a unique and captivating aroma, often described as warm, musky, and marine. The addition of golden ambergris and Oqachol provides a luxurious and distinctive character, enhancing the overall fragrance composition. Overall, Oqachol is designed to transport the wearer on a sensory journey, captivating the beauty and mystique of golden ocean waves at sunset. It combines vibrant citrus notes, a diverse blend of florals, herbal, and spicy ingredients, and the allure of golden ambergris to create unique and evocative fragrance experience. So I will say, many times I say these artisanal houses are, visited by folks like us. The reason we would go to the artisanal houses is to smell real ambergris, real oud, real musks, all that stuff. So this knocks 2 out of the 3 out. Even though there's no real oud in here, there's obviously a high quality ambergris. There's real Siberian deer musk. It says right here, the animal products deer musk legally harvest on quotas provided by the government, probably talking about the Russian government. And it says that there are 2 batches of this made. 200 bottles will be made in 2 different batches, so 100 bottles each. Due to the very high percentage of natural materials, each batch may be slightly different. Okay, so again, there's 30 bottles left. It was created in 2022 and it's now discontinued. So once those bottles are gone, they're gone. But it doesn't look like that's at risk of happening anytime soon. So that is my initial take on Oqachol. Very interesting fragrance, I will say. Prin never fails to let me down as far as keeping me captivated and really into these. Sometimes you can get into this, sort of, you can get into this routine, let's say, of smelling new stuff and just being like, shite, no, because it's so easy to just, so much stuff nowadays is a letdown, is a disappointment, is heartless, is soulless. And no matter what I think about these, at least it feels like Prin is kind of creating the type of fragrances that he wants to create. And, like I said, I'm sure some of these he is very proud of, and he should be. It's it's his brand. He should do whatever the hell he wants. And if this is the kind of fragrances he wants to put out, great. I mean, it wouldn't move me enough for me to go buy a bottle, but like I said, at least it captivates me. So there's that. So yes. Oh, last thing, there is a smoky element to this. I think the birch tar and that tobacco work together to obviously give off little bits of smoke along with the frankincense. So very interesting. All these different paths that this goes. I think if you're a hardcore frag head, you would dig this. If you're someone who has only sniffed designer fragrances all your life and then you just instantly jump and smell this, you'll probably vomit. You'll probably throw up the first time you smell it. It could be an acquired taste. But anyways, let me know your thoughts. As always, I love doing these videos for you guys. Let me know if you had a chance to smell Oqachol in the comments. Do leave a comment. Let me know if you watched the video. And as always, I appreciate everyone watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. Even though I usually don't say all that stuff at the beginning, it is very much appreciated. And we're coming up on 10,000 subscribers, which I cannot wait for. So that'll be a celebration. So as always, love you guys. Cheers. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.